So I have recently been in what one may call a mood. And when you're in a mood, you can do things like play on the computer, paint stuff and do crafts, play on your phone, bed rot. You could also bed rot. But I like to sew when I'm in a mood. So that's what we'll be doing today. So I'm making a sun hat for my son because it's hot. It's hot as heck. And what I'm doing right now is basically lining the pattern pieces with hot glue. So I line the pattern pieces with hot glue, and then I cut them out first. See, this is why I don't, whatever. Anyway, so I line the pattern pieces with hot glue, and then I set them to the side. And I did that about 8 times. I also, unfortunately not pictured in this video, made the brim of the hat out of cardboard and then laminated it using packing tape in order for it to be like semi-waterproof. So yeah, that's the process. And essentially what happened is I am in a mood. Oh, here's me sewing these pieces together. I'm in a mood because my recovery hasn't been as fast as I wanted it to be, which of course is because I keep treating myself like an able-bodied person and not allowing myself to heal, so it's my own fault, which also causes frustration. Anyway, when I'm in a mood like this, I like to sew, and I think it's because there's some element of destruction in sewing as well as creation. And so I get to cut apart fabric and seam rip things and cut up clothing items that I don't like anymore. And then I get to put them back together again into something new and different, and some might say better. Hopefully this time it is better. So this is me. I'm kind of looking, or wait, no, I'm still sewing. I forgot that hand sewing takes such a long time. This is me re-threading the needle. I didn't realize I had kept all of this in, but now it's in there forever because I'm doing the voiceover, which means that the video has already been processed, and I'm actually watching the playback. And the only processing that I will be doing from this point on is adding background music, so I am sorry. Also, I'm sorry about just my gaps in brain power. I have something called a brain fog, so that's fun. So, yeah, this is just me finishing up the hand sewing portion of the hat. I'm making, I don't know what it's called, but the bowl of the hat that goes over the head. I'm making this out of scrap fabric that I found from my stash from storage, but the rest of my stuff still is in storage, and so unfortunately for you, you get these angles that are maybe not necessarily the most flattering for me, and that also maybe don't show exactly what I'm doing. So I took a button and a piece of ribbon, and I am basically capping that button with the ribbon, and then wrapping it with another piece of ribbon, and then after I wrap it with that other piece of ribbon, which I don't think I'm doing yet. Yeah, this is just the second piece of ribbon that's going on the back. That's the strip that I'm making right now. And after I wrap that piece of ribbon with the strip, I'm going to flood it with hot glue. So I've finished attaching it, and then I'm trimming the back end. Apparently I decided the wall needed to be made a little bit higher. And then once I'm done, again, flooding it with hot glue. So that's me kind of showing you the finished product of what occurred. And now I am destroying a Dayglow Hurley onesie that my son was too long-bodied for, but fit for like 2 seconds when he was about 2 or 3 months old. And I saved it because I was like, you know what? I love this fabric. I hate that it didn't fit my baby. I would love to find something else to do with it. And so I'm using it as padding for the bottom of the little butthole made of fabric at the top of the hat. And then I'm putting my little button that I made on top, and then also using the fabric to rim around that button so that it looks cute. I wish, because I know I didn't, I wish I had shown you like a detailed look over of the hat at the end of the video, but it was 2 in the morning when I finished, and it was also, so I didn't. But anyway, this is me braiding fabric. I thought to put it around the button that I made at the top, but it didn't look cute. And so I was like, I think I'm going to use this as the band that goes around the bowl of the hat. And so I made another braid, and then I set that aside so that I could start covering the hat with fabric. Maybe don't do what I did, which is just eyeball it as you're cutting. That basically made it so that I had a problem, which I'll discuss right about now-ish, maybe? We'll see. I think, yep, now is when I discover the problem. So hear from me. This is what happens when you craft while you're tired. So you shouldn't do that. Don't craft while you're tired. I just wanted to finish it tonight, but now I've caused a problem for myself, and I'm gonna be struggling not to ruin every part of this. That's not cool. Let's see what we can do. Yep, so that I fixed it, and basically what I did was finish covering the hat entirely, and when I got to the section that was overlapping in a way that I did not enjoy, I basically trimmed it. I trimmed the fabric down. It was a very simple solution, but it was late at night, and I was kind of determined to fix it, and because I was determined to fix it, I think I also kind of was determined to get through a certain amount of the hat. I was like, you know what, I say it later that I'm gonna stop, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep going. It's gonna happen. So this is me attaching the bowl of the hat. Very excited, but also because I only attached that and was like, all right, let me stop. Problems the next day, but we'll discuss that in a moment after you hear from me in person. Which apparently you don't do until after I have attached the band of the hat. So that's me attaching the band. I'm very happy with the placement and how it turned out. And I think that you will now hear from me? Maybe? Oh no. Okay, well, what am I doing now? I'm covering the bottom of the hat. Girl, stop. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Stop doing what you're doing. You already missed a step. Okay, so I have learned my lesson. The hat is about 95% done. The only thing I need to do is add this part to cover up my little Pampers thing. But
I'm going to leave that for the morning. Because like I said, I learned my lesson. So. I lied. I learned absolutely no lessons. And so I will be finishing the hat tonight.
Yeah. So I missed the step where I would have needed to, I guess, laminate the edges of the bowl of the hat in order to make the edges like stand down more. And so I did not do that before I added the bottom, which caused a problem later on when I went to basically affix the center portion of the hat, of the bottom of the hat down. And so I guess you'll hear from me again now.
So I lied again. Laziness wins out. I have hot glue sticks, but they're in a completely different room. And once I get up from this chair, I'm going to bed. So I have left the hat at this point. I just need to cut this open, attach these around the sides, and then I need to make and place my bow right here in the hat. And then I'll be done. And you'll be able to see what it looks like. I'm very excited, but this is what it looks like right now. Good night.
Oh, my goofy self. Alright, so this is me essentially cutting open the bottom and then trying to tack down the sides. Okay, sorry, I just had to check and make sure my recorder was still going because my screen went dark. And then I thought I was going to attach this Dayglow orange band around the inside of the hat, but when I tried it on him later on in the day, it just barely fit and I was too scared. And so I came up with a different solution later, but I was going to just leave it without that. So this is me attaching the snap for the bow that I'm going to put on. I wanted the bow to be removable. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it'll be the keepsake portion of the hat if the hat falls apart. But I did, and so that's me attaching it. And then I kind of got like the spirit in me to finish up the hat as much as possible. I could hear my son playing in the other room, which basically means he woke up from his nap. But he wasn't crying and he wasn't yelling at me. And so I was like, ooh, let me finish this since I have the time. And so this is me doing what I should have done on the top of the brim, which is going from opposite sides as I attach it so that it's even all the way around.
Okay, so we got to pause for today because I heard Jefe get up and start playing, and he hasn't gotten mad yet, but once he realizes I'm talking, he's mad now. So we're going to pause for today, put a pin, well, not for today, for right now, and then I'll resume this later on at night.
Yeah, so this is the solution I came up with. Sorry, I don't know where I was before I interrupted myself. This is the solution I came up with. I used a ribbon because that was a lot thinner of a fabric than the onesie. And then this is just me trimming the tabs off of the end. I also burnished them with the hot glue. Oh, the plastic part on my hot glue, the little silicone heat protector thing, came off. So there's that. Anyway, burnishing the inside of the hat in order to even like further widen that hole, just out of paranoia. I would rather the hat be too big than too small, because he'll grow into it. He's got a big old head. But maybe he won't, because his skull is about 18 and a half, 19 inches right now, and I measured a little girl at church because she wanted a hat, and her head was about 19 inches as well. Crazy. This is me trying to adjust the camera for you to get a good angle of my progress. It's okay. It's an okay angle. It's not the best. Also, my hair is crazy because I have a migraine. I don't have a migraine today, not really. I just have a headache, but that day I had a migraine, and when I have a migraine, it's a bad hair day, and that's just what's gonna happen. But I was, like I said, kind of determined to get that done today, and so that's what I did. I love this hat so much. I want to do it again. I want to make another one for him when he's a kid, as opposed to a toddler, which I have a toddler. That's crazy. But yeah, this hat is adorable. I thought I should attach the ribbon, and then I didn't. Which is good. I split it. I left it split in the hat. This is me adding some of that ribbon to the bow, in order to basically like fluff up the bow and also tie in the rainbow ribbon in the inner rim of the hat with the button on top and the bow. So hopefully everything coordinates the way I think it does. Sometimes I think things coordinate fashionably and they really don't. I would love to show you an example, but I don't think I took a picture the time I wore ramen pants and a red sort of silky top. It was interesting. I matched, but I don't know. Anyway, I love this hat. I think it's beautiful. This is me going around the rim. I thought that I should use the burnishing method, but it turns out that it's actually a better method to just lay hot glue down and then wait for it to get, I guess, cool enough that you won't hurt yourself, and then put your finger on it and kind of rock it back and forth so that the hot glue is on there, but it's matte, and it kind of adds a little bit of a Gaussian blur effect to your mistakes. So I discovered that when I was about a third of the way through the hat, but luckily, if you go back using that method that I'm using right here, it actually, it hides your mistakes and it makes it look better. So this is my sweet, sweet baby wearing the hat. Oh my god, I'm dying. But this is the test part, so you can see it's a little bit raggedy still, and it doesn't have the top part of the bow, but the hat is finished today. So, we are done. And I probably already talked about it, but I have a migraine, and so ponytails and combing out my hair are not going to be a thing today. Anyway, we're done. This is the Barbie that I got to talk for me on camera that my child stole from me. Anyway, I could not be happier with this hat. Let me turn her around so you can see it. I love that bow. It's so cute. It makes me deeply happy. Of course, this is not how the hat is going to fit on my child. The, I guess, footage that I have of him wearing it is really more, it's from earlier today, and I wasn't comfortable putting the hat fully on him, but I want to get this video out, so you're gonna have to settle for seeing just the, I mean, really all I did was add this band in the center and add a little bit to the bow, so you know, it's not that much different. But yeah, that's our hat. This is the first ever hat I have made in my life. It's a little bit oddly shaped, but when I put it on his head it looks fine, so I guess that's fine. Have a good day. This is the cutest goddamn hat you've ever seen. Isn't this just the cutest hat you've ever seen in your life? Look at this. Ugh.